Hello, and welcome to Futures Northwest Student Speaker Series, where we share stories by students, for students, from students. We believe that students are the experts at navigating tricky post-secondary systems, and their stories have the power to dismantle secret handshakes that are barriers for first-gen students succeeding in higher education. In this series, you will learn about critical resources and hear inspiring stories of students who have persisted and found belonging, community, and ultimately deep pride for what they have accomplished. Today's guest will be Edson Beltran, a senior at Western Washington University who is majoring in human services. Edson will be sharing his experience as a first-generation student transferring from Skagit Valley Community College to Western. Thank you for being here, Edson, and for sharing your story. Tell me where you went to school prior to Western.
I went to Skagit Valley College for 2 years before I transferred to Western.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your experience there. What was campus like? Did you feel like your transition from high school to Skagit was pretty easy?
Honestly, I feel like, especially during my first quarter at Skagit, I feel like it was pretty tough. It was just rough because it was just a different format. Everything was being in high school. At least I had always somebody to tell me what to do, or teachers telling me oh, you have to get this done, you have to do this. But at Skagit, everything was different. You were kind of on your own, so you kind of had to find yourself and find whatever works for you. So honestly, I feel like my first quarter, it was just hard getting used to the college life, everything going at a fast pace, then everything being all on your own kind of thing. But after that, I felt like everything went better once I got more used to it, what to expect from the professors, from my classes. Because I felt like everything was so fast in college, especially after coming out of high school, taking semesters, taking quarters, everything felt so fast. So it was just kind of rough, getting the assignments done in 2 weeks rather than having a month to get them done. So it was just a difficult transition for me, but I didn't expect it to be that hard. I almost failed completely my first quarter at Skagit. And it wasn't because I didn't try. It was just because everything was so different, and it was just it was hard to get used to that. My first quarter, I was working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't need to work that much, but I don't know, I thought I could do it, because I was oh, I only have class for 3 hours, I was there's so much free time. And I thought I could do it, but honestly, it's a lot. Even working 25 hours, it's a lot. It's just and no one told me that. No one told me oh, you're supposed to work only 20 hours a week. No one told me that. So when I went to college and worked 40 hours full time, and then I went to take 3 of my classes, it was just kind of overwhelming. High school, all the teachers are cool, but sometimes it's kind of it's not there. They're just there because they have to be there.
Yeah.
Not because they want to be there. And at college, I feel like everyone wants to be the professors, especially they're just so passionate and knowledgeable about what they do.
Yeah.
And then sometimes that passes to the student, not all the time, but sometimes are their professors that are really good at passing their energy.
So you are a first generation student, correct?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
So you had to learn the ropes yourself and really even how do you feel like you were well prepared in the sense of knowing what you wanted to do to get your AA degree at Skagit?
Honestly, no. I honestly just walked into Skagit thinking I was just gonna take classes and see where it was gonna take me. Because yeah, I did have support from the high school, and they told me what class to take at my first quarter. But after my first quarter, everything was kind of oh, you're on your own. So I didn't know how to do things. For example, registering for classes. That was something that was really hard for me because in high school, you kind of go to your counselor and they kind of register for you. And then in college, you have to do it on the computer, so it was just I didn't know you have to do that. So I kind of arrived late for my second quarter, so I kind of got the class that nobody wanted my second quarter. So it was just those little things that everyone takes for granted, they're not there when you're a first generation student. Skagit, I feel I met a lot of good counselors and people there. But at home, it was just kind of I couldn't ask my mom questions, so I couldn't ask my my sister questions because like they haven't gone to college, so like they don't know like what's going on. So it was just kind of hard, like figuring everything by myself. It felt overwhelming at first, like getting everything done by yourself, like not knowing what to do and not having the support at home.
Demographic wise, I do feel like you had like a more diverse faculty at Skagit.
No. Maybe that's why like I got so engaged because it was like the first person of college that I saw like as a professor.
Yeah.
Like he was pretty similar in their stories, so like he was just a chill guy. I don't know. Like I talked to him like just like after class, like before class, you know, kind of thing. But honestly, like I never saw like another professor that looked like me. So it was just like that one time that I saw him, it was just like, wow, like, you know, I can do that. Like, you know, it kind of gives you like, I don't know, a different perspective. Cause like you always see like professors that like look a certain way or like, you know, so you kind of like expect that from every other class that you take. So once you see that, you kind of get like a good surprise, especially like if you're like a first generation student, where like it's hard to find like people that you like connect with or like people that you like relate to. So just having that professor that kind of gives you like a really good like it feels good. I don't know how to explain it like even better. It just feels good like to know that you can get to that point.
Personally, I see the benefit in going to community college first because it does help alleviate a lot of that, a lot of the cost. Like I feel like it's very cost effective. Do you feel like that helped alleviate a lot of the like financial burden?
I feel like it did. It felt like kind of like I was like up to me to like do good on the class. It wasn't like, oh, like I'm stressed because I can't pay or like next quarter, like, you know. So like yeah, that was like pretty good. I got like a couple scholarships from high school, so I kind of like just like relieve a lot of stress. Because I was just going into class knowing that like, oh, I don't have to worry about like paying for this because like, you know, I have FAFSA, I have financial aid. So yeah, that kind of took away like a lot of pressure, I guess. Not so much stress, just pressure, like, well, I have to do this like and work, you know. Like I was still working because I still have like personal expenses and like other things. But like college wise, like I felt good like knowing that like my tuition was paid, like I didn't have to worry about like the financial side of it.
Did you have to take GURs when you came to Western, or did you just have your full AA?
Yeah, I already had my full AA, so I didn't have to take any requirement classes for Western. So they were already fulfill a schedule.
So then based on those experiences, do you feel like, because when you came to Western, you had your AA, did you know you wanted to be in the human services major?
I did, yeah, before, because you have to apply before 2 quarters before you
That's true for
you go to Western. So you have to like pick your program. So I was like looking at programs that I wanted to do, and like I came across the human services program, so I had to apply for that program because there were like two separate applications, like the one for Western and then the one for the human services program. So I knew I had to fill like two applications for that. Yeah, I felt like it was a little more easier, like once because I already knew like it's pretty similar scheduling like a Western, like the degree works or you know things. So it's pretty similar. So I kind of like had an idea. It was like different, but like pretty similar. So like I kind of got an idea of how to do it. So yeah, it wasn't that hard to be honest.
Class wise, do you feel like you kind of still had the similar rhythm to Skagit, but then also like knowing what to take?
Yeah, honestly, like I feel like a Western the class were like even better. Like I felt like more engaged. Like I felt like I was like actually part of the class because of schedule. Like I knew a lot of people because like it was local. So you know, like from Mount Vernon, Burlington, Cedar Willie. So like I kind of knew people from those places. So I was just seeing them around, and like it was like the classes were good, but like as soon as the class was over, like everyone just left. Like everyone did their own thing. And it was just like I went there for class and I would go home. Like literally I went like to schedule for 3 hours and I would go home. It was just kind of like a really like fast paced kind of thing. Like I felt like I was like learning something, but I didn't feel like I was engaged. Like I wasn't like part of
that community
or like that college like spirit.
What were the pros and cons if you feel like a smaller campus versus a bigger campus, like when you came to Western?
I feel like the advantage was like it felt like I was welcome, like a Skagit, and like the professors were like really flexible because they understood like most of us like work and like have other things going on. So it kind of like it was like really like chill, I guess. Like it was just really like relaxing knowing like the professors understood like the students. Like, oh, you have to like families, you have to do this, but like everything, like everyone was different in my class. Like you had like old people, like young people, everything in between. So like everything was kind of like all over the place in that sense. So the teachers and the like professors were like really flexible about that, and like the college too, like they offer like a lot of support for like that kind of thing. So I feel like that really like helped me quite a bit. But I feel like the cons were like there was not like a lot of engagement. Like I would like be in class for like an hour, but like as soon as like the class time was over, like everyone just like left. Like no one would like stay, like nothing. Like it was just like I don't know, like the environment was just kind of like I have to be here and I want to get out like as soon as the bell is over. Not because like it felt people wanted to like get it over with. That was like the good thing about Western, like just like being there, like knowing that people want to be there, and like just the spirit, like the vibes, like are completely different in a class. Like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it like better, but like as soon as you walked in, you feel like you're in college. And at Skagit, it felt like it did feel like college, but it felt like more. I don't know how to explain, like a side thing, not like the thing you want to do for life. As soon as the class was over, like just walked hella fast to their car and like just leave, like like no one like really got into like the college spirit, I guess.
Western offers, I guess, good support with like within transfer students, I guess, like makes it fairly an easy process.
I feel like it does. Like I feel like they offer like a lot of support. Like I went to like 2 trips at Western before like everything even started. So like there was like a lot of support. It's just hard to get connected because like you feel like you're like an outsider once you go to Western. Because like I was in a small community college, like from knowing people that I knew, to like going into a big university, like just like not knowing anybody, and like everyone kind of like if you start like as a freshman, you kind of know the vibe, or you kind of know like how to move around campus and like what to do, what to not do, like I was just like I don't know, like an outsider at first. Once you get like more like into your classes and like people, but at first you kind of feel like I don't know, like I feel like I'm not in the right place.
What advice would you give to potential transfer students?
Be more engaged. I feel like that's something I missed on. Like for example, Skagit, like it was just like I was never engaged because like I was working and going to class and like just like those things you're gonna miss it once you transfer to a big university. Is you're gonna like you're gonna wish you're like involved more in a community college or like more into the life of like it really helps. Like you kind of like feel like you're not alone. Like you don't feel like this might not be the right word, but like you don't feel dumb. Like I feel like dumb for a big part of my college life because like I feel like I should know those things. Like I should like as a college student, like I should be able to like know those little things. But like honestly, like no one told me those things. Or like I didn't know how to find those things. So like it was just like everything was like what do you do? What do you do? Those little things that can help you like as a college student. They don't tell you like those little things. So, like they give me like the big idea of like a Western like college campus is gonna be like and where to go, but like the little things like that will like give me like really like good help. I didn't know like we had like the website and you can check like exactly what class you need and like how much credits and like like how much credits you need for this requirement, blah blah blah. I didn't find out until like my second year, I think.
Is there anything like you feel like has been really impactful either like within your time at Skagit or within like Western?
Like taking like certain classes like really like impacted me. Like one of those classes, like it was just so like awakening, I guess. Like I just like learned so much from it. And like those little things, like those little classes like kind of gives you like a little boost. Like you're like, damn, I really like college, like I really love these classes. Like I really like want to be here. Like I want to learn more. Like it kind of gives you like an idea where you want to take your life, I guess. Because you kind of know like, oh, I'm really interested like in those little things, and then obviously like for everyone's gonna be like a different class. I feel like that, especially that professor in particular, like was able to pass me his energy about what he was teaching. So like it was just kind of like, wow, I want to take more. I want to learn more.
Thank you so much, Edson. We appreciate your wisdom, shared experiences, and advice as we work towards making better systems. For more resources, information, and stories of first-gen students, check out our website at futuresnorthwest.org. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.